please silence cell phones before we begin our meeting. Believe it or not, spring is in the air. By this weekend, you'll believe it. Thank you, Crystal Ilion, for the beautiful bouquet last week for our members' one-act play. And it was an amazing treasure trove of history from Trina and Twyla last week. Their endeavors researching Abigail Adams and Martha Washington lives enlightened us. Thank you again, Trina and Twyla. I'd like to also thank Molly Castro for today's memorial display. If you haven't seen it, we even have a film reel. I don't know what's on that film though. Today is Women's History Month, and I did have a quote that I was going to use, but then I thought, well, it's the beginning of March. And I don't know if I told you, but my mother loved to write poems, prose, whatever. She wrote prolifically. And every once in a while, when I'm going through some of her things, I come across something I never saw. So in this very tiny little notebook, I found a poem about the beginning of March. So I thought I'd read it. March is a jade, a fickle thing, with the winter's wind and the sun of spring. The sun writes, come, and the wind says, go. The sun writes, rain, and the wind says, snow. The sun keeps writing, the wind erasing, and March never knows which way she is facing. That was for you. Because you're always asking me about my mom's poems.
Oh, I do. Oh, I was just telling her how much I saw them. What did I tell you? If you make it into a book.
I know. I've been encouraged by many people to do that. Once again, if you had luncheon money, Debbie and Melanie are here. After the meeting, you might want to give them your check. Duchess going to read last week's minutes.
Good morning, everybody. I'm glad it's March because there's lots of good things going on this month. This Saturday we turn our clocks up. March 20th is the first day of spring. The NCAA basketball tournament's starting for March Madness, and of course there's always St. Patrick's Day. Which reminds me, there was a gentleman by the name of Patty O'Shea, and he was waiting in the doctor's office to get some test results from his doctor. So the doctor came in and said, Patty, I'm really sorry, but I have some bad news. I have some terrible news for you. Patty goes, oh no, doctor, give me the bad news first. He goes, you only have 3 days to live. And Patty said, well, what other news could be worse than that result? And the doctor said, well, I've been trying to get in touch with you for 2 days. These are the minutes from February 25th. President Joan Lomry called the meeting to order at 10:30 a.m. at the Beaches Manor. She reminded the membership about the March 11th deadline for the closing luncheon and also mentioned that same day will be our annual meeting. On that day, we will vote on the 26th, 28th slate of officers. However, only those present will be able to vote. The slate will not only be posted on our website, but will also be sent via email. She then thanked Mary Ann Kenny for the beautiful silk memorial bouquet on February 11th and Crystal Ilion for today's lovely patriotic memorial display. Kathy Kane, your literature chair, was also thanked for arranging Emily Spato's presentation. Secretary Glenda Alvarez read the minutes from the February 11th meeting. With no additions or corrections, a motion to accept was made by Linda Berry and seconded by Lauren Dyer. Motion passed. Sally Hinman, chair of the nominating committee, which also includes members Patricia Trofia, Mary Ann Ruby, and Miriam Bartel, presented the report confirming the following positions for the 26-28 terms. Barbara Rackby, president, Sheila Waters, first VP, Karen Fontana, secretary, Kathy Kelly Olney, treasurer, Renee Swider, second VP, Patricia Bates, assistant secretary, and Diane Butcher, assistant treasurer. Current Topics Chair Cindy Del Piano introduced today's presenters, WMC's own Trina DeFranco and Twyla Edwards, whose entertaining and self-written script brought to life the very interesting background of our country's two First Ladies, Martha Washington and Abigail Adams. Twyla as Abigail and Trina as Martha transported us back in time, detailing the two women's lives, not only as First Ladies, but also prior to assuming these roles. Their experiences shaped the strong, powerful women that they became, although society's expectations seemed to confine or control Martha more so than Abigail. Both, however, lamented the fact that being First Lady was extremely difficult, as they were constantly being criticized and scrutinized. After the presentation, Twyla and Trina answered questions from the audience, and then were given a well-deserved standing ovation. It was obvious what great preparation their performance entailed. President Lowry then thanked Twyla and Trina for their enlightening performance and announced next week's program will be drawn. A motion to adjourn at 11:30 a.m. was made by Marge Palmer and seconded by Rosanna Strangelo. Motion carried, respectfully submitted, Glenda Alvarez, Secretary. All done.
Thank you, Dutch. May I have a motion to accept minutes as read? Denise Giardino. Can I have a second? Kathy K. Owen. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. We are going to forego the membership and treasurer's report because next week is the annual meeting and we will be doing 2 times the work next week. So we're going to have an announcement for our Wednesday morning trip. And Linda Berry is going to, Nan is going to do it. Yippee.
Good morning. I have some information for our upcoming trip. We'll be to Skinny Atlas, New York on Wednesday, June 17th. We'll leave from St. Paul's Church approximately 8:30. We'll arrive in Skinny Atlas around 10. We'll have about an hour and a half to visit the shops, tour the town. And then I have lunch scheduled at the Sherwood Inn on the west porch, looking at the lake. And then at 2 o'clock, we'll take a mid-lake sled navigation boat ride that lasts approximately an hour. Afterwards, we'll meet and get back on the bus and get back to Rome about 4:45. The cost is $125, and I have some brochures I'll hand out after the meeting, and then it will become first serve, first come, first serve. Okay. Any questions?
Thank you, Nan. I have a thank you note here I'd like to read to everyone. Dear Wednesday Morning Club, we thank all of you so very much for your kind condolences and for being such a wonderful presence in our mom's life. She treasured her time at the Wednesday Morning Club and regaled us with stories of all the meaningful talks and activities that she enjoyed while there. We remain grateful for all of you that you meant to her. This is from the family of Carmen Hayden. Today's presentation is a drama, and here's a quote about the theater. The theater, when all is said and done, is not life in miniature, but life enormously magnified, life hideously exaggerated. H.L. Mencken. Here to introduce our program is Debbie Muslinski. Deb?
Dutch, I know Patty well. Today we are so fortunate to have Mr. and Mrs. Lyon here from the Little Theater in Ilion. I have a little story, but it's not humorous. Melanie and I wanted to go to the Ilion Little Theater to see a play, and neither one of us drive. Well, we drive really good, but we can't see. Other than that, there's no problem, right? The blinker goes right. Okay, so My son was home from Florida, and you know he played football. It's that one, and he still does football stuff, and he's big into weightlifting and football, and he eats a lot of food and football. So I said to him, I have the perfect thing for you to do for me when you're home. I thank you already. And he said, what is it? And I said, well, Mrs. Spinelli and I, because of course I raised him right, and he calls her Mrs. Spinelli. Mrs. Spinelli and I want to go to the Ilion Little Theater, and we want to see a play. And he said, play? You want me to take you to see a play? It's Sunday, and there are so many other things we could do. And I said, watch a football game? Yeah. And so, but anyway, because he doesn't come home that often, which is very understandable, we went to see the play. And much to our surprise right now, he loved the atmosphere, the environment. If you have not been there, I guarantee even your husbands will like it, or your significant other, or anyone you would like to bring with you. It is so unique and so marvelous, and he just loved it. He also liked the play, and he loved the environment. And he took us out to eat in Utica afterwards at a wonderful restaurant. So he got to eat and he got to experience something. So I thank the Lions for the work that they have done at Ilion. Now I'm going to tell you a little bit about George. He's the chief honcho. George Ilion is on the board of directors and has been a dedicated member of the Ilion Little Theater Club for more than 25 years. Half my lifetime. He currently serves as the club's historian, maintenance coordinator, contributing his talents to numerous productions as an actor, set builder, sound and lighting technician, director, of backstage assistant. A retired U.S. Navy instructor with 22 years of service, close again to half my age. In the Navy, George was a senior enlisted damage control training specialist. Wow, could my house use you? Whoa, okay. I'm on damage control still. I'm just kind of breathless. A master training specialist and a curriculum developer. He was responsible for the training of the entire ship's crew in their responsibility when addressing fire control, flooding damage, and battle damage repair. He was also a chemical, biological, radiological training specialist. And now he's an actor, and that is phenomenal. What a wonderful background. Originally from Dolgeville, New York, he now resides in the Clayville area. That must be very close to Ilion, yes, sir? No, not really. He drives 3 hours to work every day.
Near Bridgewater.
Bridgewater, that helps. Sequoia, yes, okay. Good. I know where Ilion is. So, would you please, and we're so blessed to have with George his lovely wife, and she is lovely today in pink. Are you coming up now with George?
Sure.
No, come on up.
She's going to stay back here. She'll let me know. She'll critique me after.
Gotcha. Please come up, George. Please welcome George Lyon.
Can everybody hear me? Because I seldom use microphones because I just talk a lot. But anyway, tell you a little bit about the Ilion Little Theater. This is actually a drawing from the late 1800s, early 1900s, and that was the Remington Mansion, and that is what is now the Ilion Little Theater Club. That was the Remington family stables where they kept their horses and their carriages and their cleaning staff and their servants lived actually in the stables. And right around 1928, the Ilion Little Theater Club purchased this building, this what is now what we call the stables. That building was torn down because it was dilapidated, and so the only thing left to the Remington estate is the stables, our building. And it is a beautiful architectural building. It's just, the atmosphere inside is amazing. It's just a great building to be in. And we have fun with it. But anyway, I could go on. And people that know me know that I could go on because it's what I do. I was an instructor in the military, and before I went in the military, I went to college for a year, and I majored in speech and theater. And I was actually in my very first play when I was in 3rd grade in elementary school. I was in the high school play because they needed a little kid that could sing. And I was a singer. I used to like to sing. Well, I still do, but anyway. So they asked my parents if I could be in the high school production of The Pied Piper of Hamelin, and I was, and I've been doing theater ever since. So anyway, let me get started on this presentation. And here it is. Ilion Little Theater has entertained residents of Mohawk Valley every year since 1924. Even through COVID, we did one in 2020, and then we did one at the end of 2021, so we never missed those 2 years. Originally, this club was founded by Lucille Warden. She was a school teacher in Ilion, and she and a bunch of her friends got together and presented plays that they had written. They enjoyed writing plays and presenting them themselves. And then every month, the group kept getting bigger and bigger. So they had to move out of her attic and find another place, so they went to the Barringer Road house, the Kimball House on Barringer Road. And from there, they purchased the property that is now the stables, the Ilion Little Theater. And they spent the next few years renovating it, because at the time they purchased it, they didn't realize that the Depression was going to hit, and they would lose more than half of their membership and a lot of their income. So it took them a little longer to turn the stables into a theater, but it is a beautiful theater. We also have a Young Actors Workshop where we invite young people ages 7 to 17 to come in, and we teach them a little bit about stagecraft and basic acting techniques, and they present a show at the end of that 4 to 6 week period. Now, see, like I said, I like to talk. I've given away most of my slides already because of what our building looks like now, and we are on the National and State Registry of Historic Places. That's what we look like. Now, our clubs, we have what we call our gathering every Thursday, or the 3rd Thursday of every month. And every month we have a different theme. And this one happened to be our International Talk Like a Pirate Day celebration. And you may recognize a few people in there. Recognize this person here?
It's Nancy.
Oh, Nancy. Who's the person in the front row?
In the front row?
Barbara.
Barbara.
And Jim Mills is to our left,
Jim Mills, yes.
my left.
But anyway, every month we have a different theme, and this one happened to be International Talk Like a Pirate Day, and we kind of looked and talked like pirates, and we had a lot of fun. Everyone that works to keep the theater operating is a volunteer. We have 0 paid members. Everybody that works at the theater is a volunteer. And let's see, March. What are we doing for March? Our March gathering.
Spring equinox.
Spring equinox is our theme for the 3rd Thursday of this month. And then April, we're going to do April Foolery. April Fool Lotto.
Hosted
Yes.
by Tom Ford.
Yeah, hosted by Tom. Now, because our stage is not a big stage, creative planning is very important. We have to use the space available to create the environment to make it look like what we want. This was our set from Weekend Comedy. That was the set was inside a log cabin. So we created a log cabin, and that's what we had. When we did Jesus Sea, we created a 1920s style yacht that was in Fort Monaco. And there's some more of the Jesus Sea set. And they were having a duel with umbrellas. In Prescription Murder, we had 2 different settings. We were required to have the office of the doctor and the living room of the doctor. So we split the stage in half and had his office on one side and had his living room on the other side, and we used lighting to light up one part or the other depending on where the action was in the play. The Curious Savage was 2 different plays, Curious Savage and Savage Dilemma, 2 different plays that were supposedly 20 years apart. So we used the same set. We did the plays back to back, Curious Savage, and then we did the Savage Dilemma. Mostly we had different casts, but some of the cast members remained. She remained the doctor, but many of the other characters were young in the first one and older in the second one. So we didn't use the same people. But anyway, you might recognize some of these people, and if you don't, you'll recognize them later. Getting Sarah Married was a delightful comedy that we did. This was the set for that play. And then we also did the 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee, where we had to have a gymnasium, so we created a gymnasium on our stage. Almost Maine took place outdoors, so we had to have an outdoor setting. Sometimes it doesn't change because I'm using this, and if I do it too quickly, then I'll end up skipping through a couple of slides, so I'm being very careful about that. The Wickham's Christmas at Pemberley was another play that we had done. And if you have any questions about any of these, just shoot up. I'm just trying to get through it. Dashing Through the Snow was a fun play. It was a comedy. A number of different little sketches, all combined in one bed and breakfast kind of location. And we did Miracle on 34th Street. And one of the most recent ones that we've done was It's a Wonderful Life. That was a difficult one for the set builders because there were 32 different scenes, and it had to continually change. So we had Howard Drugstore, the building and loan. We had the couple of scenes on the bridge where George was going to contemplate jumping off the bridge and where he met up with Clarence. And outdoors, we had I didn't have pictures for everything, but we had Henry Potter's office, we had the bank, a number of different things. We had constantly moving set, so it was a difficult play to put together. And I'll tell you, we built this bridge, and it looked okay, but it wasn't perfect until we added the rivets. When you add the rivets to the steel bridge, then it was a bridge. And I say that because it was Mark's idea. Mark is sitting in the back. It was his idea to put the rivets in there. It really made a difference. We also use stage lighting to change the effects too. You see the little purple hue here, and this is the same piece of setting, but they look different because of the way we got the lighting. Now, this is also the same piece, but it doesn't look red because of lighting. It looks red because on one side of this platform is the front porch, and when the scene changes, you turn it around, and it's the entrance door to the living room. We did a play called Southern Sirens, and the playwright, a woman from North Carolina, actually came up and watched the show, and she said that it was one of the best productions of her play that she had ever seen. And she travels all over the country to watch her plays, and she really thoroughly enjoyed it. We actually got her to autograph the play poster that we had, and we had that framed and up at Ilion Little Theater, but that was a fun play. I could tell you a little bit about every one of the plays, but I would be here for hours and hours. Some past events that we've done. We had Terror at the Stables. It was a Halloween event, and we basically turned the entire theater into a maze of horror. See Crazy Clown there. For me personally, one of the scariest things on earth is a clown. I don't like clowns. I don't mind being a clown because I don't have to look at myself. But to actually have one come up to me, I don't like it. That's why I dressed up as a clown. We have Cookies with Santa. We've had that for a number of years. We didn't this past year, but we invite anybody from anywhere to bring their kids in, and they can sit with Santa. We'll give them a toy. We have cookies and all kinds of treats, and we just have fun. And Santa's got a couple of elves that help out. We began our 100th season with a 1924 style gala, and we set up our main entrance, our lobby area, as kind of a gala reception area. And then we also set up the theater in the same fashion. And there's our stage for the gala. And we allowed dancing, and we just had a lot of fun. And on this past Valentine's Day, we had a play called Dear Jack, Dear Louise, which was a true story based on the playwright Jack Ludwig's parents, who got together by writing letters back and forth to each other. He was in the military and she was at home, and they got together by letters, and in the end they were married, and Jack Ludwig wrote the play based on his parents' life. But we did that, and then we had a complimentary dessert reception after each performance of that. And this was the setup of our dessert reception. And we didn't have this catered in. My wife made all of the desserts. And she said, "Don't put me on the spot." Now it's too late. Now, in conclusion, as you can see, Ilion Little Theater is not just a community playhouse. We also rent our facility for baby showers, wedding receptions, birthday parties, and other events. There are a couple of different local film companies that they have done some filming in our theater, and they've also had their premieres when their film is produced at our theater, and they come in to do the red carpet thing, and they just have a lot of fun with that. And one thing that is coming up soon is our auditions for our semi-quincentennial celebration. We are going to have a 250th birthday of the United States variety show. And that will be July 25th and 26th. But the auditions are coming up.
March 23rd.
Anybody that wants to sing, dance, recite poetry, and the theme is America. So we're kind of limiting it to that theme, but dramatic readings, poetry, anything that will fit that theme. Also coming up, the remainder of our season is Goodbye Charlie, which is a comedy, and Murder on the Orient Express is coming up in June. And have I forgotten anything? Okay, one thing I did forget. Over there I have a piece of paper and a pen, and if anybody would like to get our news information, you can just write down your email address, and we'll add you to our mailing list so that periodic information about our theater, upcoming plays, auditions, different events, you'll get the emails that tell you. So that's available. I know Nancy's been coming for many, many years. So all right, now the only other thing I need to do is get somebody. Is there a button to get the screen to go up?
No, we have to have somebody to do that.
Okay, I have some other people to introduce, and I will do that in a minute once we get this. But I'll keep talking. It is possible for me to do that. Keep talking. I just want to shut this down. Anyway, I'll do it later. Is there anything else I can say about the theater? Does anybody have any questions?
What's the capacity?
The capacity. Okay, that's a good subject. We have 86 seats in our theater.
No, we don't.
I'm a little bit dyslexic. 68.
You have 67 permit.
67 permanent seats. It used to be 68. We took one out to expand our lighting and sound. I said 86. I was thinking 68, but anyway. We have 68 seats, but periodically we set up some extra chairs along the aisle and maybe once in a while in the front so that we can put more people in, because the capacity by fire codes is 94. Okay, now, you want me to put a couple of chairs up here, right? I'm going to help get set up for presentation that we have, but I'll keep talking while I do that. Now, one thing that I do whenever we're at the theater and we introduce shows, quite often I'm the one that introduces the shows. And most people that know me know that I will never finish my introduction without a joke. I always tell a joke. And if you've ever been to our show, our theater, you've probably heard this joke that I am about to tell. So, Nancy, you've heard it. Anyway, I'm going to introduce a couple right after this joke. And so, there was a man that was at church, and as he was walking out, the father noticed he looked really depressed. And so the father says, "What's the matter?" And he said, "Oh, my wife. And she criticizes me all the time. She treats me badly. And now I think she's trying to poison me." And the father said, "I don't really think that's possible. That she's trying." He said, "I think you're exaggerating." He said, "I'll tell you what, I will call your wife and I'll talk to her and see if maybe I can get you some good information about, what really is the issue." So on Tuesday, the father called the man and said, "Can you come in and talk to me?" And so the guy went back and he talked to the father. And he said, "Well, Father, what'd you find out?" He said, "Well, I talked to your wife for 4 hours." He said, 2.5 hours. All she did was complain about you and all the different things. But then she started talking about me and the way I present my sermons. And he said, "It was a little difficult, but I managed to get through it." And the man says, "So what do you recommend?" And the father said, "Take the poison." Now, periodically we have guests at our theater, and I'm not going to call them guests because Mark and Janet are a part of our theater, but the guests are the people they're bringing to us. There is a couple, they're a really sweet couple, and they are called the Bickersons. Come and join us. Is this good here? You want it? That looks good. Okay. Now you just got to transfer yourself to the dark side. Transfer yourself to the bedroom of John and Blanche Bickerson. You there yet? Hang on. Ready? Okay, the Bickersons were a radio show. 40s, 50s, I'm not sure. And you can tell by the name, they kind of, they had spirited discussions. Okay, so that's what we're gonna say. She's the worst one. So we're going to give you the Bickersons. This episode is titled The Honeymoon is Over. There's some more here than some audiences that we've been in front of. It's all right, though.
Tonight's play is presented to you with the cooperation of Paul Rapp, son of the genius creator of the Bickersons, Philip Rapp. And now,
This is a
here
bit.
are Mark and Janet Hannah as the Bickersons. The Bickersons have retired. It's 3 o'clock in the morning, and Mrs. Bickerson lies tense and sleepless in the dark as war husband John, a victim of raucous insomnia or whimper's malady, reaches a climax during an acute attack of his strange ailment. Let's listen.
He'll stop now. I know he will. Oh, dear. John, roll over on your side. Come on. Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!
What is it, Blanche? What's the matter? What's the matter? What's the matter, Blanche?
There isn't another woman in the world who would sacrifice her looks and youth to live with a man who rattles himself to sleep like a bunch of old bones in a bag. What do you think I'm made of, John?
Old bones.
You've got to stop it.
Stop what? Breathing?
That's snoring.
Oh, it's just your imagination, Blanche. I never snore.
John Bickerson, how can you say that?
Very easy. Listen, I never snore. I never snore. I never snore. Oh, what's the matter? Why can't you let me sleep, Blanche?
What about me? What am I to do when you grind away like a buzzsaw? I never sleep at all.
Well, you were fast asleep when I came home from my lodge meeting.
What time did you get in?
I don't know. Can you put out the lights?
You said you'd have one drink and be home at 10.
Well, I had 10 drinks and got home at 1. You knew where I was the whole time, so don't start beefing about it now.
I didn't know where you were, or I would have called you.
What for?
Because that express man came around again with that package.
Ah,
It's from Kentucky, and there's freight charges on it.
why didn't you pay him? I've been waiting for that package.
Well, what is it?
It's my dividend. I belong to the Bottle of the Month Club.
I am just sick and tired with the way your whole life is wrapped up in a bottle of bourbon. Maybe you'd like me better if I wore a label and put a cork in my mouth.
You don't have to wear the label, Blanche.
There you go with your subtle insults again. What am I to talk to? You rush off in the morning and you come home when I'm sleeping. Sit up and talk to me, John.
Blanche, I'm dead tired. I don't know what time I came home, but I was out in the kitchen for over an hour.
I know, I heard you puttering around in there.
I wasn't puttering. You asked me to fix the electric toaster and the curling iron, didn't you? Well, I fixed them both.
Do they work?
Yeah, they worked fine. Except the toast pops up with a permanent now.
Well, that doesn't surprise me. Did you close all the windows?
I closed all the windows. I shut off all the lights.
Well, I suppose you left a mess in the kitchen.
No mess.
Well, I hope you locked that back door because that cat got out 3 times last week.
That cat won't get out tonight.
Where'd you put him?
In the bird cage.
Birdcage? Where's the canary?
In the cat. Stop knocking yourself out, Blanche. Nothing happened to the canary, and that cat is fast asleep in the oven.
Don't scare me like that. Are you sure all the animals are taken care of?
I'm sure.
Well, what about the goldfish bowl? Did you heat the water for the new baby goldfish?
I heated his water, gave him his paddling, burped him twice, and changed his diaper. Now, would you put out the lights so I can get some sleep?
Why are you so disagreeable all the time, John?
Because I'm exhausted.
Oh, that's not true. You'd rather be out grousing with your roughneck friends. Just kills you to spend the night with me.
Oh, it doesn't kill me. What, Blanche? I'd be satisfied with anything, okay? If you would just let me get some rest.
There's always another insult. You always complain about my cooking and pick at my meals, work me to death like a slave.
I never complain about your cooking.
Why didn't you eat the pie I made last night?
I did eat it. I ate every bit of it.
You didn't like it.
I couldn't chew it. The undercrust was like cardboard. Yes.
That pie didn't have any undercrust. I served it to you on a paper plate.
Well, the plate tasted better than the pie. Don't make pies anymore. I hate pies. I hate all desserts, especially that orange meringue broccoli dream cake you make. Don't make me any more desserts.
I never know what to make for you. You've got the weirdest appetite of any man alive.
Yeah, sure, weird.
For 2 months running, all you would eat was pig's knuckles, pig's knuckles, pig's knuckles.
Well, what about it?
Well, just because you wanted pig's knuckles, I had to cook my fingers to the bone. Why don't you hire a chef? I cook for you, I scrub for you, I sew for you. What kind of thanks do I get?
Thanks.
Thanks. That's all the thanks I get. No love, no affection. How I envy Louise Shaw. Her husband treats her more like a friend than a wife.
Settle down, will you, Blanche?
No, I won't. Do you think Louise ever makes breakfast for Mel? Not that lazy lump. She sends him off to work without a morsel of food. Just a kiss for breakfast. Would you be satisfied with that?
Sure, send her over in the morning.
Would you be satisfied with a kiss for breakfast?
Blanche, like I said, I would be satisfied with anything. If you would just let me get some rest.
Answer me. Do you want a kiss for breakfast?
Yes.
Then ask for one.
Blanche, I want a kiss for breakfast.
I'll never let you kiss me again as long as you live.
Well, if you think I'm going to apologize for something I didn't do. For what? Apologize for what?
It's not what you did, it's what you haven't done. You haven't told me you love me for years. Why didn't you just say you're sorry you married me?
Because I'm not.
Am I the only wife in the world for you?
Oh. You're the only wife in the world for me. I swear.
Well,
I'm not lying.
that's no way to swear. Say it nicely.
Blanche. You are the only wife for me.
Really?
wouldn't have another wife like you for anything.
I wish I knew more about you before we were married.
Oh, you knew everything.
I didn't know about that tattoo on your stomach. That's a real indication to a man's character. I wish I had known.
Now, you wait just a minute. I had that tattoo put on my stomach when I was just a silly kid.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself. A hula girl with a big dimple in her chin.
That dimple was there before she was. Don't go picking at my stomach at this time of the night.
Well, why don't you have that ugly picture removed?
Okay, I'll have it removed in the morning.
You say it, but you don't do it. Get up and do it now.
What?
Go on. Get up and get rid of that hula girl.
Are you out of your cotton-picking mind? It's 3 o'clock in the morning.
Do it quick enough if you were married to Gloria Gooseby.
Now, don't start with Gloria Gooseby.
She'd holler plenty if you didn't do what she liked.
I always do what she likes, and she never hollers.
What?
I mean, I hate the sight of Gloria Gooseby. Now, I never want you to mention her name again. Do you hear me?
Don't yell at me. I'm sick.
Sick?
Dr. Hershey says there's something the matter with my brain.
You don't mean to say that you paid a doctor for that.
You make fun if you like, but I know I won't last long.
What's the matter with you?
Nothing.
Are you really sick?
So sick I could die. I think I'm poisoned. I have the worst indigestion. Call the doctor, John.
No. You don't need the doctor. I'll take care of it for you. Just lie still, and I'll go fry up some radishes and hot sauerkraut juice.
Radishes and hot sauerkraut juice?
Finest cure in the world for indigestion.
Oh, John Bickerson, I don't need any of your insane remedies. You'll treat me for indigestion and I'll probably die of liver trouble.
Listen, if I treat you for indigestion, you'll die of indigestion. Now, do you want me to help you or not?
I feel a lot better if you just stop yelling at me and tell me you love me.
I knew you weren't sick.
Tell me you love me, John.
I love you.
How much do you love me?
How much do you need?
Now, John, Easter Sunday is only 2 days away, and I haven't got a new hat.
What happened to the hat you bought last Easter?
Well, it's in a box on the dresser, but that hat's worn out.
Well, then wear the box. You can't be squandering my money on Easter hats.
Please, John, just this once. I found an adorable hat that has a wonderful brim that you can turn up or turn down.
How much is it?
$60.
Turn it down. Turn it down.
Turn it down. Turn it down. I have to turn everything down because you're always looking for a bargain. Well, when you married me, you didn't get any bargain.
Oh, how well I know that.
You know what I mean. You're the kind of man who only likes a woman who would pass up a mink coat for a cheap fur.
Well, what's wrong with buying a cheap fur?
Nothing. Would you like to see the one I bought here?
What?
It's a dyed rabbit choker, and it only costs $94.
$94 for a dead rabbit? Blanche! How can you squander my money like that? I deny myself everything. Last week I had all my teeth pulled out so I could save money on eating. I've been sewing collars on your old bloomers and wearing them for shirts. I don't even have a pair of pants. You know what I did yesterday? I hung a whisk broom from your plaid skirt and went to work dressed as a Scotsman. And you're spending $94 on Easter rabbits.
All right, I'll take it back.
Yeah. Take it back.
I have to take everything back because you're just a cheap old scapegoat. I wish my poor grandfather were here.
All of a sudden, she's got a grandfather. You never mentioned him before.
He was the best friend I've ever had. I asked his advice on everything.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I bet he could solve a lot of our problems. If he were here, I think he'd tell you to let me keep that joker.
How do you know that?
Because I know. And when I get to heaven, I'm going to ask him.
Suppose he isn't in heaven.
Then you can ask him.
Good night.
Good night.
That's our show for tonight, folks. Tune in next time to we bring you another episode of The Bickersons. Good night.
Anybody have any questions for us? Yes, ma'am.
Matinee performances.
Yes, we actually do. Every one of our shows, we have Friday night, Saturday night, and a Sunday matinee. So our Sunday matinees for each one of our productions are at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And that just
How many shows a year do you do?
we do at least 4. We have 4 regular season shows. So when somebody buys a subscription, they get access to all 4 of those shows. Now, when we do additional shows, like the Valentine's Day presentation was an extra, and the semi-quincentennial celebration will be an extra. Those are additional shows, but we do at least 4 every year.
You have to have reservations for people?
Yes, actually, you have to go onto our website, and it has a link that sends you to Ludus, and Ludus is our ticket agent. You buy your seat ahead of time, you pick your date, your seat, and do all that, and then you just show up, and we have a list of who bought tickets and what seats are going to be in, and it's really pretty simple, even simple enough that I can do it. Yes, ma'am.
You use all local talent, or do you have people?
Well, we would accept anybody, and we've had shows where we've had people from Syracuse audition for our shows because it was a specific show that they had interest in being in. But we will take anybody from anywhere. Actually, a few years back, my nephew was visiting from California, and one of our regular actors was unable to make one of the performances because his business was sending him out of town for that day. My nephew took that one performance and did it for us. So he came from California at the time. He didn't come just to do the show, but I talked him into it.
I stay bored.
That's why I put my toe on it so I don't trip over it, because if I don't, I will trip over it. But anybody have any other questions? Again, remember, if you would like to get on our email mailing list, I have a piece of paper over there that you can sign up. That's it.
Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Lyons and the Bickersons. That was a quite interesting performance. I seem to remember, maybe, we used to listen to the radio a lot as a child. We didn't have televisions all the time. And, yeah, I'm that old. So we did listen to the radio a lot. Thank you again for being here, and Debbie, thank you for bringing them. Can I have a motion to adjourn? Linda, Davis. Second? Barbacino, all in favor? Aye. See you next week, annual meeting.